Good afternoon from Caracas and welcome to Brazil Decides. Voters are heading to the polls in Latin America's largest country. We will have continuous team coverage throughout the day from our studios here in Caracas, our main newsroom in Quito, and our correspondents on the ground in Brazil. I'm Cody Weddle. Remember, you can follow our special reporting all day long at our website, telesurtv.net/English. Also, follow us on social networks with the hashtag Brazil Decides. 450,000 voting stations are installed across the country and will remain open until 5 this evening local time. The polls opened at 8 this morning, and shortly after, voters began lining up to pick their president. Over 142 million people will vote to elect a new president and vice president. They will also elect new governors and senators. The system is totally automated, which reduces voting times. We expect electoral authorities to announce the first results 3 hours after polls close. Current President Dilma Rousseff cast her vote this morning in the city of Porto Alegre in the south of the country. She will now travel to the country's capital, Brasilia, where she will await the results. After arriving at the voting center, Rousseff greeted voters and electoral volunteers in the building. Rousseff refused to speculate on who might run against her in the second round, saying it would be up to the people who will decide and that speculating would not be respectful. Minutes later, via Twitter, Rousseff called on Brazilians to vote in peace. Socialist Party presidential candidate Marina Silva also cast her vote this morning. Silva voted in Rio Branco, that's the capital of Acre State. Silva voted along with a group of supporters. On her Twitter account, Silva tweeted a picture of herself at the polls. All of the leading candidates in Brazil's presidential election voted early today. That includes Dilma Rousseff, Marina Silva, and Aécio Neves. All Brazilians between the ages of 18 and 70 are required to cast a ballot. Voting is fully computerized, so results are tallied up just hours after polls close in western states. We now go to our correspondent on the ground in Brazil, Stephanie Kennedy. Stephanie, what's the latest there?
Hello. Well, we bring you this report from one of the polling stations here in Rio. This is a school that has opened up its doors to this sector of the city. Now, since we have been here, we have not witnessed any disturbances or any interruptions. There are hardly any queues. People are lining up and voting with complete efficiency. Now, all of this really is thanks to the electronic voting system, which was applied nationwide in the year 2000. And since then, the process of voting here in Brazil really has been sped up. Just to give you a quick idea about that, in 1989, when there were elections between Lula da Silva and Fernando de Mello, it took roughly 9 days before people found out who was their president. Today, with this voting system here, we will know the results by 5, 6 o'clock this evening. That's all for now. I'm Stephanie Kennedy. Back to the studio.
And thanks to Stephanie, our Telesur cameras are on the ground in Brazil. We caught up with several voters asking for their opinions on the voting process.
It's an easy process, quick, without any complications. Now, we just need to wait to find out how it all turns out.
So you need to enter the numbers for each of the posts you are electing for. So first for state and federal deputy, then senator, governor, and then president.
Today, with the efficiency of the electronic system, the counting of the vote is really fast. By this evening, we will know who are the elected candidates.
I believe it's a really easy process, voting here. It was all really fast and really calm.
From roads and transportation to large football stadiums, Brazil has seen huge investments in infrastructure in recent years. It's thanks in part to the country's growing economy and international support for future projects. Take a look.
Brazil has been increasing the size and scope of its infrastructure ambitions since the government's Growth Acceleration Program allowed both public and private sectors to conceive over 12,000 infrastructure projects over the last few years. Some of the biggest achievements were roads and transportation, thanks in part to the World Cup and the upcoming Olympics, as well as heavy investment in ports and railways as a result of the country's booming economy. Brazil has quadrupled government participation in infrastructure investments in just under a decade. From 2003 to 2011, where total investment went from around 60 million reals in 2003 to 160 million by 2011. As a result, the planned concessions to build and operate highways, airports, ports, and railroads, the Brazilian government expects to raise investment substantially. Brazil's growth in infrastructure should stimulate other investments over the coming years, as President Dilma Rousseff sees recovering investors' confidence as a crucial opportunity to stimulate the country's growth. Rousseff recently announced a plan to invest over 10 billion reals in over 300 different infrastructure projects, such as sewage systems and road paving. The project will be part of the government's Growth Acceleration Program and will benefit over 1,000 municipalities across Brazil.
Remember, you can follow our special reporting all day long at our website, telesurtv.net/English. Also follow us on social networks with the hashtag BrazilDecides. Until next time, I'm Cody Weddle.